We're good to go. hmm
Mm. Just gonna see if we are live and kicking. Not really yet, I believe. But now, look at that. Now it happened. All of a sudden, beautiful technique. Okay, guys, very much welcome to that Beautiful Life podcast. It's episode 233. That's how far we are into this world of talking about what we've been doing and what we have been watching and what we have been playing. And we're going to do that today as well. And as usual, we are two here. It's me, Rudi Bergström from Stockholm, Sweden. Thank you for um, having me here. And also, wow, that was interesting. Also, as always, Kudus Campbell from the beautiful Reading in the UK. Is it beautiful? What do you say, Reading? Oh, oh, you haven't?
Well, I have, but not for like exploring reasons. I'm just looking.
Yeah. Yeah, you're checking the status.
All right.
Hi,
I
Miss
wouldn't
A&R. Hope you're fine.
say the best of these. Because I left the house only for one reason today. And that was to take my sister to the GP. Doing well, so I just
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I just took her to the GP. Get a checkup and stay with her and came back home. I actually didn't even sleep last night.
You
So
didn't?
no, I
How
was
how come?
because she wasn't sick. So like I was awake.
Ah, so it happened
And
during night and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So I stayed
Okay.
awake and I was sort of like checking on her and also I was
Wow.
playing this game. I was streaming Final Fantasy.
Mm,
So Alex was saying to me, "Did like it's been a while since you've because I was just gonna capture footage and just we're gonna review. But
yeah,
then she was like, "Oh, why don't you just stream it?" And I was
yeah.
like, "Oh,
Hey, Q, hold on a second.
yeah.
The missus says here, you're coming and going, the voice.
Am I coming and
Uh,
going? Can you guys hear me? Can I be heard properly?"
it could be, do you have any filters on or something, or
Not that I know of. No, I haven't. No, I
no?
haven't messed with any filters.
Sometimes if it's noise cancellation, it can
Yeah,
have a threshold and then, yeah, So,
I know the noise cancellation does it. Is it still doing that? Is my voice still coming and going, or is it fine now? Check. The only other thing I
it's
can think
good.
of is to unplug my mic and plug back in because sometimes that does happen with my mic.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the cable is just being, and I think sometimes it doesn't connect. Yes, but your voice runs. Sorry, what is that word? Blocked by a hot
Runs
thing.
back and we miss the sentences. It's better a bit. Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me. Here's what I'm gonna do because when I look at it in OBS, it looks fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna unplug the mic, plug it back, and hopefully it doesn't like screw
Yeah.
mic.
Cover your ears. Be ready. Sometimes that can actually be a thing.
Yeah, I mean that's tech 101, when it
Now you
comes to
disappeared. Yeah, now you're back. Yeah.
when it comes to software, it's kind of the thing where you usually just it's like you unplug it and plug it back in and it usually fixes it.
Mm.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers
Yeah,
crossed, you
you have
guys
to
can.
literally be next to the mic. Maybe closer. I don't know. I
I
have no
don't know if
idea.
this is better. Oh, it's so in my
Try
face.
that.
So
Try that. Yeah,
nice.
in the face.
In the
Covering
face.
your face instead. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anything
But I hope
better?
that works. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where were we? Yeah, the Final Fantasy, of course, and in combination with also your sister becoming a bit ill. Still missing some words, really.
Really? That is weird. No, that's actually weird because again, Rod, you're hearing me, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Um, be close to the mic. I am close to the mic. I'm literally right in front of it. Rod,
And
hit
I hope, I mean, it's picking up from the Yeti, right?
for you. You're hearing me
When
from
it
my
comes to
headset, but I'm gonna switch
yeah, and
for you.
I hear you fine, but check the Yeti so it's not like
It's
picking up from another source or whatever have you.
set the right way.
Maybe
It should be set.
has it changed the recording level or mic level, if
That
you
I
will?
can, not that I can tell. Fine.
No, okay.
Um, I'm
Mm.
gonna switch the audio for you, like what you're hearing, to the Yeti, and you'll tell me if my audio sounds any worse.
Yeah,
So I'm coming to the Yeti now. What do you think? Do I sound any better? Do I sound any worse? Is it?
it is actually something
You can hear
when
it.
you speak with. a bit like lower volume wise, it
Mm-hmm.
does clip a bit. It like fades away,
Really?
almost as if you were having a noise gate or something in
Really?
OBS.
Let me see if I can tweak some. I haven't changed anything. That's the weirdest
No,
thing. I've
I
not
mean now
changed.
you sound fine. Now
I
you
sound
sound
fine.
fine. It was just when you start to talk a bit lower volume, then it
Yeah.
actually
It
went away a bit.
it knows good. So now it's fine.
Yeah, for me, yes,
Okay, so I'm gonna leave it like this for now. What I did, I actually did,
exactly.
I did something. I raised the volume on my mic itself, so I turned the knob. There's a knob on it, so I raised it a little bit. Hopefully
Probably
that
good.
that helps. But yeah, generally, as I said, like Square Enix sent a copy of Final Fantasy 16 for the PC and on Steam, and I was gonna play it and just review it, and then Alex was like, "No, you should probably stream it. You haven't streamed in a while," and I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? I'll do some streaming," and I streamed it last night,
Yeah,
and
nice.
at the same time, I found out my sister wasn't feeling well, so I went and I asked her what she wanted to do, and we hatched a plan that I'll take her to the GP in the morning. In the UK, just for those who don't know, in the UK, when it comes to seeing a doctor, everyone has a GP, and your GP is usually
Aha.
registered to somewhere near your home. But because my sister didn't always live with me, she was living with my older brother. Her GP is near him. She hasn't changed it over,
Ah,
and
okay.
so whereas for me, normally my GP is just right up the road. It's not too far. For her, it's across town, and so we had to hatch a plan as to what we were going to do with regards to him, which we did, and yeah, took her to the GP this morning. But in the process, I ended up just staying up for most of the night. I think I slept for like 2 hours, and
Ouch. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, you got some. You need to catch up with some sleep. I hear you.
I did the sleep already. No, I'm fine now. Like when I got back from the GP, I slept, so I'm
Ah,
good.
okay.
I'm
Okay.
solid right now. But generally, yeah. So stayed up and played Final Fantasy 16 on the PC and on the Steam Deck. I've played it on the Steam Deck and I've got actual opinions about it. And those of you listening to the podcast are gonna get preview opinions about it before I drop like videos on YouTube that are like dedicated specifically to that. But yeah, generally my week has been a bit an up and down. As I said, my sister hasn't been feeling well, and
May I ask you how is she now at this very moment?
she's not. She is resting. She is resting. She's still not
Oh,
not
okay.
not back to full. It's sort of like she has ups and downs. It's like she starts getting better, and then she it dips again, and better, and then dips again. So it's a seesaw of a thing that happens
Yeah.
with regards to her how she's feeling right now. I just hope she
Okay.
gets through it because the doctor said it shouldn't be something serious. Based on they did a few tests and stuff like that, she seems fine. So hopefully it's again nothing serious and she just comes out the other end
Right.
fine. But yeah, generally speaking, is that my younger brother came over this past weekend. We played some e-football, watched some football on the telly,
Ah, okay.
and just sort of just it's had family time and so forth. And as I say, like the days are up and down. You have good moments, I have bad moments. I don't want to go into every little minute detail of it all,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
generally speaking, it's been back and forth with regards to how the days have been going. And yeah, it's just generally some playing Final Fantasy, chilling, doing that kind of stuff. I will say this much: more good than bad. Let's put it that way. So I've had more good moments in the past week than bad moments, which is good. Uh,
Yeah, that's
so
good. That is good.
so yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say the week is a 6.5. Six.
Look at that. Okay, good, good.
So yeah,
Got
not
it.
not too bad at all. Rog, how about you? How has your week been? Is it a six
I
point
think
five as well?
I actually I would say yes.
Mm.
It's around there. It's been also a week with ups and downs for
Mhm.
sure. I think I've had some. Yeah, it's been a bit like I'm going back to. Yeah, I'm gonna meet another orthopedist tomorrow. Actually,
Oof.
I think I talked about that before. To be honest with you, I wasn't really aware of. Oh shit, we're already at like towards the later part of September.
Yeah.
So I did, which was I'm happy I did. I had a reminder in my calendar in my phone, and yeah. So I got a reminder because I was like, oh shit, it was actually this week. I thought it was next week. So that I will do. But it's been a bit. I've had some pain and some issues, which is always, it takes energy from you. It really does. It
Mhm.
kind of affects my mood as well. You get a bit more like, yeah, not that great. But I've also had some good moments. I think the weekend was pretty nice. Adam came over also on, was that Saturday? We had dinner here.
Mhm.
He picked up some good fika on the
Oof.
way, so it was some good, yeah, with the coffee and everything. So we had a good time together, and I think also the good part is also the weather has still been quite good here. I think like around 20 degrees, not too hot,
Lagom.
not too lagom.
Mm.
Exactly, super lagom actually, super lagom. Yeah, that's a word too. So with that said, now I think it's as you said, 6.5 is probably how I would rate it as well. Oh my god, interesting
Oh,
when you start to rate the week like that. But
I,
yeah,
I I
why
think
not?
I
Why
think I
not?
think that's we rate movies, we rate games. Why not give the weaker rating? Six point
Yeah,
five. It could be better,
there you
but
have it.
but
There you
it's
have it. I guess it's if it's 6.5, at least in my belief, which we will talk about also later, getting into the movies section or what we have been watching on telly.
Mhm.
Then it's like it's how do you say? If it would be in a movie or a TV series, it would say you can definitely watch it. It's recommendable. If it's under 6, it's more like nah, skip it. It's not
S-
really worth
Skip
it. It's
this
like
week.
yeah.
Start next week. That's it. Don't even bother about this week.
Exactly. No, no,
Skip
no.
it.
We
Start.
skip it. We just yeah, we went to Monday instantly next week
Instantly.
instead.
Do you ever feel
Hmm.
like that sometimes? Like you feel like,
Yes.
like you could just skip the week. It's just
Yes.
it
Yeah.
sucks. I know that feeling.
Yeah, it sucks. It can be, skip the rest of the week or actually skip a day or two,
Mm-hmm.
because you just feel that, oh God, I don't want, I don't want it to become like Thursday or whatever. Well, that was just an example. I don't mind Thursdays; they can be good, but sometimes it is like that.
Yeah.
So I totally feel you, and I guess you guys out there might feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I know I think a lot of people are like, when there's a weekend and you get to Sunday and Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that it starts to like, oh no, it's Monday tomorrow. I have to
Ugh.
go to work, you know,
Mm.
that kind of feeling. And that's, yeah, it's a thing for sure.
Yeah,
I know it's
Mondays.
especially my maybe just because he's vocal about it. I
Mm-hmm.
think, I mean, a lot of people think about it but don't say anything. But the guitarist, my friend in the band,
Mm-hmm.
he he often expressed that, and I think it's also because we often rehearse. We haven't done that this weekend though. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
time for it. It's going to be this upcoming weekend, upcoming Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's usually like Sunday 2 p.m. to like 4 p.m.,
Yeah.
something like that. And since that's the case, he usually, like afterwards, since we usually also enjoy playing together, then
Mm-hmm.
it's like the fun is over, and he's like, "Oh no, no, it's gonna be Sunday evening," we're like that. So,
Oof.
the oof, yeah,
Yeah.
it can be, I guess it's quite natural to
Yeah, it
feel like
is.
that.
It is.
Most people do, but yeah. But with that said, I mean, part of the week, both for you, apparently, since you started out talking about Final Fantasy also, and
Mm-hmm.
say for me, it's also been a mix of everything we do when it
Yes.
comes to what we do and what we like to watch and play and all that stuff. So, with that said, would you like to touch base about something of when it comes to these topics?
I definitely would. I definitely would. I'm sure quite a few people coming by the channel today, and popping into the podcast are quite curious about Final Fantasy because this
Yeah, let's
particular
go gaming
episode.
then.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going straight into gaming. This particular episode is titled after Final Fantasy. For those who follow
exactly.
the podcast, we sort of like we've started titling them. Is it weird? And it's either watching or playing based on whatever we decide is going to be the primary thing we put on
Yeah.
the thumbnail. So today was Final Fantasy because it's a new game. It literally just came out yesterday on the 17th of September 2024 for the PC. Now this game was originally released for the PlayStation 5, and I did play the PlayStation 5 version. I played the demo and then I bought the full game as well. And the game is a modern Final Fantasy, but it plays in a way like, when I'm gonna say modern, it looks sort of like ultra realistic. When you think of older Final Fantasy, you think like sort of almost anime-esque style of hair and all this sort of stuff. This is more realistic looking type of character design in that regard. It's still Final Fantasy, still spiky in some ways and so forth, but it reminds me a lot of Game of Thrones. Like the more I play it, I'm just like, this is Game of Thrones, but in game form. You know, like even like the twists and the murders and the killings and all the stuff that you see in Game of Thrones. You know, characters just getting
minus the nudity, maybe.
I don't even know. It might be possible because this game is rated 18. It is rated for adults.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
It is 18 plus. It's possible. You never know them, because even like in one of the beginning chapters, like the prologue sort of chapter. There's a scene where like one of the female characters, she runs up to one of these male characters and she jumps onto him and straddles him basically, and they're making out and everything, and there's a lot of naughty talk, and I'm just like, ooh, I'm here for that. Say no more, Portuguese, you know. So basically, this is Final Fantasy 16. It is run on the PC. The gameplay you're seeing on the screen right now is the game running on my PC. Just for I guess an idea of what I'm using to run the game, it's a 6800 XT Radeon GPU, AMD GPU, and my processor, I'm actually not sure what my processor is. An AMD something.
something.
Something. The processor needs updating, and I do have I think 16 gigs of memory. I need to upgrade that as well. I think it's a bit low. But performance-wise, you can see that it's running 1440p. I've got it high settings, not ultra, but high. Looks great. And again, the other thing I did with this game as well is I played it on the Steam Deck, and it runs on the Steam Deck. It's not great. Like I will say that your frame rate is somewhere probably between like 20 something, 24 frames or something like that, which is not bad. It's serviceable if you can keep it steady 24. Lock it at 24, it will be fine. Right now I tried to look at the 30, but I couldn't get it to stay at solid 30. So as I said, I think it's about 24. But the game, you run it at low settings on the Steam Deck, and because it's a smaller screen, it's not the size of like your desktop. It looks fine. It does not look bad at all. You know, obviously you'll have a bit of lower textures and stuff like that. So for example, like face tattoos look a bit blurred on the edges instead of being like ultra sharp as it is here on the desktop. But my God, it is. And you know what? In battles, it runs even better than when you're just walking around talking to people and on the Steam Deck. So I have to say, absolutely loving the game on the Steam Deck.
So it sounds. I just want to, So it sounds from a technical aspect, since you've tried it on both the Steam Deck and also playing obviously here on PC. You feel that it's well optimized.
Yes.
You think probably going to work also on maybe a bit lower kind of PC.
I think your desktop would run it. That's the thing, because I'm running it on so like a lower spec PC would run this because the Steam Deck's running it, and the Steam Deck's running it on low. Obviously resolution has a part to play in it. The Steam Deck's resolution is I think it's like 12 something by 800, so it is a lower resolution. But again, if you at least have something along the lines of like, let's say a 1050 GPU, I think that would run it. And I will test it on a 1050 because Xavi has a 1050. So what I'll do is I'll test on his PC and see if it runs on there. If it runs on there, I think he has a 1050 or 1650. I can't remember, one of the two. But either way, I'll test it on there. If it runs on his rig, which I think it will based on how it's been running the Steam Deck and my rig, I think this game is well optimized. Now for the Steam Deck, it does have a question mark on it. So I guess they haven't fully tested it out to give it that green tick. And me personally speaking, I think it needs a bit more optimization for the Steam Deck. I think they can probably get a bit more out of the performance on the Steam Deck, as well as the fact that when you switch between Steam Deck and your desktop, so when I play on my Steam Deck, some of my settings, the thing with the Steam Deck is that when you play games on the Steam Deck and then you play it on your desktop, what usually happens is you have separate settings for both platforms. So you'll have your preset settings of how it's going to run on your PC, your resolution, your graphic settings, all that kind of stuff. And then the Steam Deck will have its own settings. The only thing that goes over is your save data. For Final Fantasy, it's taken some of my settings, not all of it, but it's taken some of my settings onto the Steam Deck and the PC. So for example, on the PC, I play with the PS5 controller.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to map it to that controller. On the Steam Deck, obviously it has Xbox style controls, so I constantly have to keep changing the controller type every time I switch between the two, which
Right.
not really the best thing. I think that's kind of annoying, but it kind of deters me a bit from wanting to jump between the two of them. The other thing as well is it changes my so I use AMD's FSR. But on my desktop I use FSR3. FSR3 does not work well with the Steam Deck, right? At least with this game. So FSR 1. I think it's 1.5, 1.2 or something like that. That runs and that runs perfectly. It runs absolutely fine. So for me on the Steam Deck, I switch it back to FSR 1.2 or whatever it's called, and set the settings a certain way. When I come back to my desktop, like for example, I played last night, I came onto my desktop, two weird things happen. It switched my display from my main monitor to my side monitor, which was weird. I'm not sure why I did that. And it stayed on FSR 2. Sorry, 1.2. And it kept my button mapping like the Steam Deck. The weirder thing though is that it did not change my graphics, and so my ambient occlusion and all that kind of stuff, all of those things, they're still enabled on my desktop version, and as on the Steam Deck I've switched those things off. So it's the weirdest sort of thing, and that's why I think a little bit of optimization is necessary, where they need to, however they've designed it, for it to just be able to seamlessly sync between these two platforms without taking some of the some of the settings that they have enabled for it. But the game looks great on the PC. It runs smooth. I haven't run into any problems thus far. I have noticed some dipping in frames and stuff like that, but I think that has more to do with my my monitor than anything else. Because of my desktop is capable of running the game at a higher frame rate. My monitor is locked at 60 hertz. I can't really get the best out of it. I do have a monitor that can do higher than 60 hertz. The problem is that it's 4K, and I don't want to run this game in 4K because my card isn't really a 4K card. It's a 1440p card. So I am gonna have to probably upgrade my monitor in the future. It's not a priority right now, but similar to like how you and I have discussed, like you want to upgrade your processor. For me, it's my monitor.
Exactly. It's always something,
Yeah.
So, but it sounds good. It sounds good. How about the rest of the game? If we're talking like UI, for example, is it like what we've seen before in former games, or have they changed stuff, or
the UI?
Something to say about that?
So this is a very action-based Final Fantasy game. It's very reminiscent of Final Fantasy 14, I think. So it's very action-based. It's so far it's very linear. I don't think it ever gets any less linear from my memory of the game. Which is good for, I guess, for casual JRPG fans. The game does have two sort of like modes you can play it in. You can play story mode, or you can play it in a sort of action-based mode. Now I'm playing the action mode. The other thing too is you have these rings your characters get at the beginning of the game, like everyone gets it. And you can put them on your character, and what it does is that it will automate certain things. So like you can have auto healing happening, you can have auto like slow down time, you can have auto dodging and so forth. So what I've done is I have one of them enabled, which is to slow down time when I'm about to be hit sometimes. So it helps me a little bit in some battles. Sometimes I feel like I'm leaning on it a bit too much. But then at the other time, it's like, do I really want that much of a challenge from this game right now at this stage in time when I have other things that I need to be doing? So and it just came down to that. I was just like, you know what, it's fine. I'm okay with that. I can live with those terms. But the game, the UI looks great. I've tried to limit as many things being on the screen as possible. There are quite a lot of settings, a lot to tweak to your liking, so you don't have to. It's definitely a PC game. There's a lot you can tweak, a lot to get it exactly the way you want. And I think Square Enix did a great job. Like, shout out to Square Enix for selling a copy, and shout out for the game being so well optimized on the PC. And you guys know me, I don't shill for nobody, right? But this game is nice. Like, it runs nice, it looks nice, it plays nice, and it is a nice game. And
sounds good. Sounds like a good release. I mean, we've talked about those kind of things before as well. Everything can happen, and it does happen sometimes. But But they know that, I mean, also they've done these kind of games now for a very long time. And as you said, my experience also with the Square Enix games is that they are most often,
Hmm.
you know, as you said, they're optimized and they play well, and you know, it's good stuff. You know,
Yeah.
very much so often worth the price. And talking about the price, by the way, what are we talking about here? Is it like the full
I think it's full. Let me
70
actually.
or
I don't
80
think it's
or
that.
whatever have
I
you?
don't think it's
No.
70. I think it's like I think it's like about 60.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Okay.
let me just open
I'm
Steam.
just curious what they have decided to do regarding the price, you know?
I click on Steam and it's not opening. It's just like a blank. Oh, there we go. It opened. Okay, let's see. Final
15.
Fantasy. So you tell me what
Got
you
a bit
get,
I
and
got a
I'll tell
bit
you what I got.
curious.
So
Yeah,
for
sure.
us here in the UK, price is 44.99 euros. I'm sorry, pounds.
Okay.
44.99 pounds.
Mhm.
It does have DLC though. So if you buy the DLC on top of the base game, it's 64.99 for the base game with the DLC. You can buy the DLC by itself, which is 2 sets of DLC, 2 sets of side
Mhm.
stories and extra content, and that works out to 19.99. So yeah, that's the prices I'm seeing. What are you seeing for
Uh, Yeah, it makes sense because here it's when it comes to the game, it's 49.99
mhm.
euros.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, you have the complete edition. No, that this is the complete edition. Is that what you were talking about?
Mhm.
Or no, this is the DLC
Mhm.
expansion pass for 24.99.
Yeah.
And altogether, add all DSC to cart, 54.97.
Mhm.
This is one thing I want to mention here, which I remember from at least a few of the former games. They
Mhm.
do have a demo for those of you guys that would like to try it out.
That's true.
Uh,
Thank you for pointing that out. I completely
yes,
forgot that.
I didn't know that because that made me curious. So,
I think
yeah,
I think for most people who want to test if this is going to run on your PCB, and I think most games should have this. You and I, we've spoken about this, Raj, before about
yes.
games not having demos and how important they are.
It
Um,
used to be a bit more often,
it
like
was.
before, you know, in many
Hmm.
genres, I think,
Yep.
you know.
You used to get them because that's how you knew.
Hmm.
You test the game, you see how it runs, and then you decide, oh yeah, this is gonna run on my system. Okay, I'll buy it. So
Exactly.
it is there. Also, a big shout out as well is that Square Enix is having a sale right now because TGS this week. There's a
Oh,
TGS sale going on for Square Enix this week. I'm assuming other Japanese publishers are also having similar sales. But we're just
yes.
talking about Square Enix for now. So if you want to pick up games like, for example, Near Automata, it's like at
Mm.
£11.99. Games like Final
Ooh,
Fantasy reintegrated is like 34. As well as Crisis Core is 19 and so forth.
okay.
So you've got a lot of titles looking great here on sale. A few of them are ones that I would highly recommend. Some I would not recommend spend any money on. One I wouldn't recommend is Forspoken. That's about 1949. Yeah, you could skip that one. I would also say Strangers in Paradise is one that I skipped and I would probably not recommend, but I've had a lot of people say it's worth the play. So,
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, different taste. As we've said before, all games aren't for everyone. So
yep,
you gotta, but you gotta pick
you
your
pick your
game, so to
poison.
say. Yeah, true. But
So
it seems you're gonna have fun with this game. I mean, do you know anything about how long-ish the single player is?
I don't know how long the single player is, but I doubt it's gonna be that long. For me, what I'm thinking the single player for this game is probably gonna be based on just my time with it thus far. I'm
Yeah.
thinking the single player can't be more than maybe about say 70 hours, if so much,
Mm.
because it's linear. There's not much side stuff to do. There's no going off the beaten path.
Right.
So I can't see myself, and leveling up seems very quick. Like I've been climbing levels quite seamlessly throughout the play. The enemies are not very difficult to fight. They're very spongy
Mm.
though, but they're not difficult to fight at all. So it's fairly easy to play the game and
Yeah.
get through it. Especially using those the sort of mechanics I mentioned with the rings. It makes it a lot easier, to just get through boss battles and all. To be honest, I've barely used potions the whole time I've been playing the game, and that's just
Ew.
because of how easy it's been. So,
Okay,
Shout out
cool.
to Final Fantasy 16. Mm-hmm.
I just gonna fill in when we were talking about this. Actually, according to IGN and Wiki Guides, the single player, when it comes to the main story,
Mm-hmm.
it's on average 37 hours and 54 minutes,
Ooh.
so 38-ish hours.
Mm-hmm.
Main plus extras here is 58 hours, 34 minutes.
Ooh.
Completionist, well, I guess it's like everything. Then it's 82 hours and 35 minutes. Oh my God. All play styles, whatever, 59 hours. Yeah, okay, so
Not that long, actually. Quite a
no,
short
no.
campaign. 50 something
Yeah,
hours. That's basically a day and like 2 days. It's
yeah,
just
something like that.
wow. I mean, granted, as adults, we kind of have to look at that time completely different as adults with families and other responsibilities. That it says 50, 50 hours or 58 hours or whatever have you.
Yeah,
That's young people time. Like us, it's probably double that. Like
exactly.
because you're gonna be playing and something's
It's
gonna
like,
come up and you're gonna have to
yeah,
leave, come back. You know.
yeah, and it's gonna be, I gotta go very straightforward here. I'm not gonna go to the left or right. I don't have time to check if there's something nice under those trees over there. Nope, going straight to the lair. Let's see.
I struggle to do that. I still struggle to do that, even though I know I don't have the time. I'm just like, let me just see what's over there. And I'm like,
Exactly. Potentially, it could be something nice, and even if it isn't, it's
mhm,
also part of the game,
yes,
which I will come to in a minute. Also, when it comes to what I've been playing, because it's a way of also enjoying the game, like
yes.
getting to that investigation kind of look around mode.
Hmm.
So
Man, well, you know what? Speaking of that, I don't think there's anything else I need to mention about Final Fantasy 16 other than the fact that so far, my time with it is pleasant, and I can
beautiful.
almost certainly recommend the game on the PC. I
Yeah.
can say on the Steam Deck, it is my recommendation for playing on the Steam Deck is somewhere around, I'd say 7, because I can see the
Hmm.
game getting much more well optimized for the Steam Deck in the future. Right now, I think it's playable. That's the best way I'll put it on the Steam Deck. It's playable. It's not perfect. I've played other games that are way more well optimized on there, like for example
Yeah, yeah.
Yakuza, but it is serviceable in a very nice
Mm.
way. So I would say, yeah, Steam Deck playable. Going with the information that, as I said, you're probably getting around say 24 frames and it's not stable. You probably have to lock your frames into 24.
Yes.
With the PC, as long as you have a decent enough rig, it's not like no graphics card or anything like that. You should be able to run this game, and it looks gorgeous and it plays
Mm.
gorgeous. You can see the gameplay on the screen. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the
Exactly.
story. I think the story is the highlight of this. So easily
Yeah,
high
yeah, yeah.
recommendation. Final Fantasy 16 thus far is great. No problems so far. I can't wait to like share my full detailed thoughts about the game in the future. If you want to see those thoughts, make sure to follow LP Guardian on YouTube. Not this channel. Go over to the other channel. That's where I put all the JRPG stuff. So go to at LP Guardian on YouTube, LPGRDIN, and you'll find the Final Fantasy stuff on there for when I do cover Final Fantasy properly. As for everything else, I say let's talk about what Roger's been playing, which is not Final Fantasy, but also a new game that is amazing as well, because I did watch you stream it this weekend.
Yeah, you did. Thank you for popping in yesterday. It was nice to have you there. Yeah, you got into a kind of tense moment. Yeah, I've been coming further into the campaign, playing co-op with Crazy, my youngest son Isaac, and also Rate, who is the moderator on my Discord.
Hmm.
So everything I can, well, what I mostly can say is, as you were pointing out, it's positive. I really like the game we were talking about is Warhammer 40K, and it's
Hmm.
the new Space Marine 2 game. I have talked a bit about this already. I think I mentioned something about the multiplayer, but of course the campaign, the story also here is why most people also buy the game. Um, we have been doing. I have also been playing some of the side missions. Not only one side mission yet, because they're also quite long. Most of these story things going on, which I don't mind. Of course,
Hmm.
it's nice. And as you were saying, for example, yesterday, also in the stream, I came to this point because it's a good looking game. I mean, I'm streaming it now, and the only downside is I mean, Saber is using their own graphics engine, and I think, of course, it's thanks to that they can have these massive scenes with so many, like literally hordes of these enemies and everything. That would probably not work on Unreal Engine 5. In
Mm-hmm.
other aspects, it might have maybe it would have been better using, for example, Unreal Engine 5. Everything has its pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
because this game is it's quite CPU heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Even those guys that are playing on really good PCs are, I shouldn't say complaining, but they do say, well, I was hoping for better frames, la di da, things like that. I have found a kind of a good middle ground. I mean, I have a very, very good graphics card. It kind of carries, and it's like yawning a bit because it can't really play out on you know really, really high settings due to I have to compromise then
Mm-hmm.
since my CPU is weaker and I'm also streaming. That takes quite a load as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, I think it has been looking good in the stream. It has been working well. Although
Mm-hmm.
yesterday there has been a few. I've had a few. I think two crashes yesterday. Crazy also crashed actually,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a stronger rig than I do overall. But there was one thing that was quite annoying. I'm not sure why that happened. It was actually between, like, when you have finished a level, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
and you're loading back into the hub, if you will. You're like on this, ship or place where everyone is when it comes to these Space Marines, where you can customize, and the story goes on because you talk with a general or something.
Mm-hmm.
uh, but then it just, you just see the cogwheel spinning, but nothing really happens. So I had to, Alt F4 out of the game, so to say, and
Mm-hmm.
restart it. That hasn't happened before. Not really sure why. There's also a level or a part of a level that we got stuck at last time we played, which was on Sunday, because I have been grinding this game when it comes to the stream so
Mm-hmm.
far. Might put in something else, also another game for next week, but it's that fun. And you also want to progress, right? You have come into the story, you want to progress. But then at the end of that stream, we came onto a big, like, platform kind of elevator that is
Mm-hmm.
moving slowly, and of course there's going to be enemies coming in, and we're talking hordes and stuff. And for some reason it was like a bug. We couldn't pick up like Steam packages, we couldn't pick up some of the weapons. We got shot through the freaking containers and boxes that is supposed to provide some cover. So it was glitching. We tried. I mean, we're playing also on the almost the highest difficulty, which is veteran,
Mm-hmm.
and we tried like 4 times. We were at the end of the stream, so we're like, nah, we're not doing this now. I know a rate sent a report to the devs, and he saw that some other guys have been doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, before you showed up also in the beginning, we went back there, but we were forced to. What we did is that I lowered the difficulty level. It loaded in again. At least this was something good too. Sometimes if you're playing a game and you change the difficulty level, you will have to restart that level and play the whole thing through again.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case here. It actually remembered the last save point, if you will, before this elevator level I was talking about. Even though we've changed the difficulty level, so we turned it down to easy just to get through that as
Mm-hmm.
quick as possible. And fortunately, it didn't mess things up too much. It was still the bug kind of thing I mentioned, not being able to pick up the stim and whatnot. But whatever, we did it, and then we had to go out of the game again, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to set up the and then reload whatever. But that's the only downsides. And what I wanted to mention, as we said, when you are exploring, you're playing the game, this is also quite linear. You're following the story, you're following a certain path on the maps. You see, okay, where am I going? I can check that out. Oh, I'm going there. Good, I'm going there. We're fighting, la di da. But then it also has these moments where you can I was just standing looking around. It was this place like it's quite apocalyptic at some point, but with all these beautiful buildings, these towers, and like almost cathedrals, and it looks really, really. I was just standing there looking for some time, and I like that. So big thumb up to the game in all aspects, and as said, I will give you soon. Also, I'm working on that now. Actually, my kind of, yeah, you would call it a review, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to Space Marine 2. Um, because it's so much content in there. Like the player value is really high in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Granted that you can play, well, you can play by yourself, you can play co-op, you get the side missions, which in itself is almost as rich as the actual main story, if you will, at least when it comes to the time you can play these side missions. So it's a lot of things going on. And as said, it has a decent multiplayer as well if you're into that. So yeah, good stuff. A big thumb up to Saber and Space Marine 2.
It's
That's my saying for now.
it looks good. The other thing I want to say is that, like, you mentioned how it runs on your PC. From when I popped in the stream, for me, I couldn't tell that your PC was underpowered in it. Like, it just looked great. Just
Yeah. I have found a good middle ground where it works.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has to be said also that in some games, I love when games are really relying more on the GPU for many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those games that also are quite CPU heavy, as mentioned, and there aren't so many settings. It depends on how the game has been done and what kind of options you also have when it comes to settings, right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, for video, there aren't that many options, and when you look through, there aren't so many options to actually lower the load on the CPU in Space Marine 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like, okay, VRAM, low, medium, okay, well, but I mean, because the GPU for me is not a problem. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, so it is what it is. But I've found a kind of a good middle ground. So yes, thanks for saying. But yeah, I think so too. I have been watching a bit on the VOD afterwards and also see that it looks good. It's definitely fine,
Mm-hmm.
The only thing was, as I said yesterday, but then on the other hand, today, talking about the thing that happened between levels that I had to, restart the game actually twice. And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
why is this happening now? It haven't been a problem. And Rate was like, maybe you need to lower the settings, blah, blah, blah. But I said, it's not that. And yeah, well, anywho, I just checked our internet connection. You know that we have like fast speed. It's like 1,000 up, 1,000 down, blah, blah, blah. And
Mm-hmm.
we get around 900-ish, which is really, really good. But
Yeah.
then I saw for after summer, it has gone down. So it was, I think up was 600-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's still good, but it's quite a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did today when we took the walk at lunch, me and Isaac, is that I pulled out everything and just let it restart. So when I did that, and after that, and we got, you get a new IP and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and fine. Then it was plus 900 up, plus 900 down again. So it might have been, a bit wonky when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to that, to be honest, because I know Anley, as said, she likes to watch some TV shows once in a while in the bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
and she's using Chromecast.
Yeah.
And that has been bugging out a bit recently. So it could be, I'm just saying, could be a combination of things here going on.
The thing I would say with
So
regards
yeah.
to the Chromecast is that I think because of how it's designed, one of the things that because we've got Chromecast in our house as well, and we've run into problems with them before. I think because of how they're designed, I think generally speaking, you do have to reset those devices every now and then. So if Annie's having a problem with it, I'd recommend you probably just reset the whole
Yeah,
device.
I've said that too, and I also said check the software. I mean, if
Mhm.
there's an update or something, because I
Yeah,
don't think she. Usually it will auto update, but
yeah,
not every time.
yeah.
So but good saying. It could be worth doing that.
It could be, yeah, because that's what
Because
we do in the like. Sometimes Alex will complain it's not working in the living room, and then I come in and I just do a whole reset of the whole thing, and then it starts working again. So, yeah, that's
good
the
to know.
thing. It's it's
Technique.
it's Google's tech. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's true.
So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna try what you described with regards to like just resetting everything, because I do have the same problem. So like I have 1 gig internet as well, in 1,000 up, 1,000 down. But mine, I've been getting some terrible speeds over the past couple
Really?
of like over the past couple of
What are we
months.
talking about? Have you been checking, testing?
I have been testing. Sometimes I'm getting like the weird thing is that it's lopsided. So sometimes I'm getting on some devices I'm getting 900 and
Mm.
down, and then I'm getting like 200 and something up, and I'm like, what the frack?
Oh,
But then
that's not good when you're paying for what you're paying for, so to say.
exactly,
Yeah.
it's not necessary. It's not really what, like, I'm sure if I run a test now, and I'm not sure. I don't think it will affect the stream. So
No, it won't. Yeah,
let's
you can
just
try it.
if I do a
Check.
quick, I'm just doing speedtest.net, and I'm running a quick test. It's gonna cycle through, right? Right now it's saying I'm getting 400 and something, 500 and something megabits dong. I'm paying.
Okay.
I'm supposed to have 1,000 down, 1,000 up. I'm getting
Yeah,
500 and something.
that's on the low side of things. As mentioned, I mean, I was plus 600, and that's still a bit like, because I use a Swedish site called
Mm-hmm.
bredbandskollen.se, and it's literally the same more or less, but
Mm-hmm.
it says that it's acceptable, but it's a bit too low when it comes to what you actually have.
Yeah.
And that's why so try to restart. See, maybe that happens. Let it be like out for you know how that works, like at least like maybe 10 minutes or something,
Yeah.
and see what happens. Otherwise, maybe you should contact the provider, because it's I mean, you can't expect, we're not talking, yeah, as said, you might get over 900 something ish. That's normal. You
Mm-hmm.
never hit the 1K mark. That's not going to really happen. But it's some disturbance in the force on the way.
I think
But
I think
yeah,
so, because like right
but it
now,
shouldn't fluctuate that much, I think.
not that much. Five something down is poor, because the upload is 720. So it's weird. Sometimes the upload is better.
Something is affecting it. It's dampened somehow.
Yes.
And what is hard to say, but yeah, yeah,
I'll do some testing. It's easier to do the
yes,
test in Zavi's room though, because our whole modem and stuff is set up in his room. So
yeah, sure.
I think if anything, I'll do whatever tests I need to do in there, and then if anything's wrong, because I can directly connect a LAN cable to the modem itself in there, and then test it, make sure it's working, and then
Exactly.
if anything, I can always reset everything and do a fresh network thing. But it's good to know that you resetting yours for like 10 minutes worked. So I'll try doing that tomorrow.
Yeah.
In the day when everyone's kind of like
Yeah,
out of the
it's
house.
worth it. As you said with the Chromecast, I think we should do the same when it comes to our internet,
Yes.
At least maybe once a month is
Yes.
probably a good thing to do.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So,
Yes. Um,
but yeah.
and I think with regards to, I think we move on, but I think with regards to Tele, um, I have not watched anything this week. I'll just
Mhm.
be honest with you. I have not watched anything this
Sure.
week. The only thing I've watched is I've watched the Champions League and some
Oh,
Premier League matches over the
nice.
weekend with my brother, and just in passing. I
Good.
watched some with Ty as well. Yesterday we watched a Champions League match between Real Madrid and I think Domino Zagreb, or however you say the name. I can't remember
Oh, okay.
say the name, but essentially that's all I've watched. And football is
Yeah,
football.
but good.
It's
Yeah, but
fun to
that's
watch,
nice.
but
Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. It does count, I think, even though
yes.
it's not like.
there's no
I'm with you. I'm
there's
with
no
you.
show recommendation for me this week. I will have something
Yeah,
next week. This week I've just been watching the football. Raj,
good.
you have been watching something that I've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's it's kind of interesting since we started this podcast talking about how was our week. And we had about the same ish experience, and we gave it like a 6.5. I'm going to talk about a movie that I saw recently that actually has a 6.4. It's as close as our week was, both
yep.
good and bad. And it's the same with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about a fairly new movie, 2024 movie on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I did watch it on Netflix, which is called The Beekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this only because Jason Statham was there.
Yeah,
You know,
he's a
that's
bamf.
the dude. Yeah, and I know you like him too. And he does not disappoint you. He
Mm-mm.
just simply does not disappoint you. This is, oh my God. Uh, okay, the good and the bad. The good is Jason is there. He
Mm-hmm.
delivers. There are some really good action scenes in the
Mm-hmm.
film, and but then the bad, I would say, is a bit like when you feel some parts of the story, or should I say, some of the characters are a bit like they are a bit too dumb, aren't they? Or they're like, oh, come on, you are. federal agent and you didn't really realize that. Well, it's stuff like that. I'm not going to spoil, but if you watch this, you will probably feel the same. I was worried when I got to the end of the movie because the outcome could have been like maybe three ways or something.
Yeah.
I was so, when you get to a kind of point of view when it comes to a ending where they start to talk about the right thing to do,
Yeah.
like morale, what it says in the law book
Mhm.
and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh no, don't go there. Don't become that person, because if it would have ended like that,
Yeah.
I'm a bit vague here because I don't want to spoil it
Mhm.
apparently. Then I would have given this movie maybe a 5, meaning don't spend time watching it, even if it's our bloke Jason doing his stuff. But yeah, I kind of I buy the end. It's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
So the Beekeeper, entertaining. If you like Mr. Statham, go ahead, watch it. It's action, it's crime, it's thriller, it's political thriller, one person army action. Yeah, that's actually what it says on IMDb. As said over here, 6.4. I would give it around there as well. Well, maybe 6.5, so we we match up with our week. Uh, but that's that. That's my telly. I have been continuing to watching also season 2 when it comes to Rings of Power,
Yeah.
regarding Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Mhm.
It's so.
Mhm.
It's not like I mean, Annalie, like both Isaac and Annalie has left. They're not
They
watching.
checked out.
They've checked out. They bailed out. I am still there. That's
Mhm.
all I can say. And we'll see what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a new episode tomorrow. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
Thursday tomorrow. So there you go.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's it.
Sounds like a thing. So I
Yeah.
think with that, I think we've got a podcast, ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful people out there.
Yes.
It is good stuff to watch, at least with regards to Jason Statham, it being at least
Yes.
almost lagom because it's not there yet. But it's I think I agree with you, Roger, on the fact that it is a good enough movie. Jason Statham is Jason Statham and he's brilliant,
Yeah.
but it could be better. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the gist with regards to that. Um I think we've got a podcast. I think
Yeah. We got a podcast. So I guess it's time for us also to leave.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do have to finish my dinner of dumplings that I've been having.
Oh, gee,
So
you haven't been eating.
it's
What
on
good
the
for
side of
me.
me. So I'm gonna finish that up and have a drink of something, maybe some water, or maybe I'll go to the shop and get some water. But yeah,
Okay.
who
Now that
knows?
sounds good, bro. With that said, what I can say is, as always, thank you guys for being here, watching live, but also maybe in afterwards. I hope you enjoyed. We have, as always, had a good time talking with each other. That's what we do, and also
Mm-hmm.
sharing our weeks, what we have been doing with you guys, and also hopefully some inspiration when it comes to gaming. We have both been playing. I think that's, if we're gonna like put, like, how do you say, um, like the highlight would probably be our gaming here,
Yes.
because it seems to be so good, both when it comes to the Final Fantasy 16, but also what I've been playing when it comes to Space Marine 2. So with that said, take care, my friends. Stay healthy, and until next time, Muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you guys enjoy Raj, which I know you do, because you come here to see Raj and to listen to him talk beautiful stuff about beautiful games, then you're gonna want to follow him at 40 Splish Splash. That's the number 40 with SPLISH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct, Raj?
That's correct.
Oof. Oof. It's
You
beautiful.
got it.
You can actually see it on the screen for those who are actually watching us on YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, you can actually just see it there on the screen. You can find me at LP Guidance, LPGRDIN, it's Guardian to you. If you want to see me stream this game, I am streaming it on Twitch, actually. That's why I streamed it last, which was at Simply Binge on Twitch, at Simply Binge UK, pretty much everywhere else. You can find us there. So if you want to see me stream this game, that's probably where I'm going to stream it. You will find my preview thoughts of the game as well as my review on LP Guardian. So make sure you subscribe there to see that. You will find Roger's some of Roger's impressions of Space Marines on 40 Splish Splash, which I believe you've got one up already. Isn't that correct, Rog?
Yeah, it's what I will post there when it comes to it's the multiplayer, because the whole it's gonna be yours later, meaning I don't know where you want to post it, Simply Binge, or I have
The
no
review
idea.
is gonna be the review for
Yeah,
Space Marines is gonna be up on Simply Binge. So
exactly.
when
So that's how it's gonna be.
when Rogers finished with it, he'll put it up on Simply Binge, similar to like when I'm finished with Final Fantasy, it'll be up on LP Guardian. Because LP Guardian is a Japanese game channel. But anyway, that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the content that you hear from us. Oh, I also shouldn't shout out, I'm also working on something for Simply Binge as well, which is gonna be the review for eFootball 2024. 2025 version 4.0.
Nice.
The review for that is coming. I am working on it. So as long as I can complete enough gameplay and get enough footage and complete writing the review, which I will try to get done before the end of the week, then you will see a full review for that as well on Simply Binge UK. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see stuff like that. I'm trying to like get back into the grind, but we'll see how it goes. With that being said, thanks for watching. We as always wouldn't like you guys to miss out on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like you subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Simply Binge, or comment elsewhere, and with something like it that we're giving away for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. It's a wrap. Whew.
Wrap. There we go.
Wrap. You know what?
Wrap.
I don't think I'm full energy today. I think like I'm there, but I'm not there yet. I feel like because I've just been like awake all night and then up and down with my sis. I think it's kind of taken a bit out of me.
Yeah, but it does. I mean, even if we've talked about that before. If you like turn the day and night around a bit, it will affect you. Even though, as you said, you have recovered since you got some sleep during the day. But it is what it is. It will do things with your body. Unless you're really used to it, because you're in that kind of rhythm, as some people are, to a certain extent, at least, if they have night shift, if they're working night, maybe at a hospital or whatever with security or something, But that's another thing, because then it's regular.
Mhm.
When you do it like this now and then, it just the brain becomes a bit confused. What's going on here,
It throws you off. Also, I haven't. My diet has been a bit sporadic. So I have actually lost weight since holidays. So more like 2 kg. So nothing drastic really, but I do need to get back onto a proper diet. So we will.
Yeah.
We shall
With
see.
that said, you better pick up those dumplings and shove them down.
Yeah.